welcome into the Detroit Lions Live Kira Auto Insurance post-game show. There is the final score from the wild card round. Detroit Lions taking care of business against Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams. Detroit has not won a playoff game in over 30 years. This is the first time Ford Field is hosting a playoff game, and Dan Campbell's squad gets it done. Jared Goff leading these Detroit Lions against his former team. That was the storyline all week long. Jared Goff checked a big box off here today, joined by Lomas Brown. I'm Dannie Rogers. What do you have to say, Lomas?
Can you get this monkey off of my back?
Here you do it. I saw you do it earlier.
All right, here it is. Oh. All right, it's gone. 30 years he's been riding on our back. I finally got him off of there, man. Oh, my God, Danny. Awesome. Just so great what happened today.
All week long, the buildup was there. Matthew Stafford returning back to Detroit for the first time to play against a team that drafted him. Jared Goff trying to get a win over his former team and doing it in playoffs. JG gets it done. When you think about this game, Detroit didn't score at all in that fourth quarter, and they still hang on. What sticks out to you?
Got a little nervous in the fourth quarter, but oh my goodness, man, the way these guys came out today, and especially this crowd. I think this crowd was the extra motivation that the team needed. But I'm so proud of this young team, how they came out, how they executed, how they hung in there. They fought through adversity when we had that. They continued to make big plays. And like I say, they came out with a close victory, but it was a victory well-deserved today.
It sure was. Taking a look at some of the stats there, Detroit held once again to under 100 rushing yards. No problem. They still get it done in the pass game. 0 turnovers. Lomas, that is what sticks out to me. And that time of possession almost nearly split between both teams. Turnovers were going to be a big one in this. Whether Detroit could take care of the ball or turn the ball over, they didn't have to do either. They still came out with the W.
Absolutely, Danny. It says that this team is growing. We're watching this team grow before our very eyes, and it's good to see. Like you say, no turnovers in this game, and that's huge, especially in playoff football, because everything that you do, turnovers, miscues, missed assignments, all of them can hurt you in a game like this, especially a close game. These guys show so much resilience, and I'm so proud of them.
And they showed a lot of grit, which is what head coach Dan Campbell likes to talk about a lot. Coach Campbell standing by the podium now. Let's hear from him.
Guys hung in there. We won as a team, did what we needed to do, took all 3 phases, got our special teams involved in the second half. I thought Jack Fox was unbelievable. Defensively, we kept them out of the red zone, which was huge. It's an explosive offense. We knew Stafford was going to be hard to contain. Thought Puka, he's a heck of a receiver. And that defense, man, they were flying around. Aaron Donald, he's an issue no matter how many resources that you try to put his way. So, but ultimately, man, we did what we had to do to win that game and played it the right way. And in the critical moment, seal the game. We put it in Goff's hands. He gets it to Saint, and we're able to kneel on it. So it's an outstanding job. Yeah, just thought he played top-notch football. He probably had 2 errors, and everything else was. I thought he was on point. He looked loose. He looked relaxed. I thought he threw the ball with conviction. Was strong in the pocket, got us in the right play, and he felt that way all week. He just was locked in all week, and he's really been that way for 6 weeks now, like where you really felt like, whew, he's really honed in here. So just really proud of him, and what he means to us and his play today. And I bring it back again. He's one of the reasons that we won this division, and he's another reason why we just won our first playoff game here in 30 years. So what a stud.
You downplayed all week the emotional toll this matchup could have for him. He downplayed it as well, but the crowd was chanting his name from the start. We haven't heard that.
Do you think he liked that?
I'm sure he did.
Would you like that?
Nice gesture. To play with, the level-headedness that he normally does in an emotionally charged environment, how impressive is that?
Yeah, I expect that out of him. Look, he's played plenty of football, and he's been in all different types of environments. And I think, if anything, it probably felt a little special when you hear it every once in a while. I wouldn't think that would make him tight or You know, if anything, probably gave him a little boost. But he just, listen, man, he's steady, he's reliable, he makes plays when you need him, and the guys love him. They respect him, and he's a leader. Hold on. Go ahead, Wojo. He had started. Sorry, Dave. I know I'm looking at you, and then I look back.
I know it just happened that way at the end, but did you want, obviously, at some point to have the ball in his hand at the end, you were going to throw?
Well, no, that wasn't like I didn't go in saying, all right, at the very end of this game, even if we should run it, we're going to just put it in his hand. But it was there. That was the moment where we need to seal this game. And we felt like the right thing to do was put it in his hands and get it to our best player. And we did that, man. Those guys executed, and he just ran in my office, man. We were hugging and laughing and enjoying it, and talked about that last play. And I said, how many times have we done that over a 2-year period here? And a ton. And he's made the same play, and he did it again. And so a lot of trust in him, a lot of trust in that O-line, the backs, and certainly those receivers, St. Brown in that case, to make the play.
And you've been a part of a lot of playoff games. What about this environment? And
Man,
the Rams had to burn 2 timeouts, I guess.
That is arguably the best environment I've ever been in. That was absolutely electric. And I think what's crazy is I was coming down for pregame warm-up, and you could just feel it. It was humming. The building was humming. And I swear you could feel the electricity down the tunnel from where I was coming down, and it only just grew from there. So, man, our fans showed up in a big way. That was clearly, and I thought, man, for 2 years now, that building's been rocking. It was different today. That was a whole nother level, which is what the playoffs are all about. So our fans showed up in a big way. They helped us win this game.
Obviously, next game up, you're not going to take too long to, basket the glory.
You don't know that.
How long will you take? I mean, just they talked to you a little bit about the emotional side of it a little bit, but man, the first time in 30+ years, you understand, you're part of the 0-16 team. We talked to you about it before. To actually do it and accomplish it, what was those feelings and emotions like as the final seconds went by?
I guess in that moment, I don't think of it like that. And I don't even know if I'm really going to understand all of it until I have time to just sit back, season's truly over, and look back on it. Because I guess I'm just kind of, man, believe me, I'm so thrilled. I'm excited. We got our first playoff win. And I'm happy for those coaches and those players we're all a part of it. To be able to do something that's greater than yourself, it takes everybody around you doing their job, doing it on a high level. And you got to be able to trust them. It's special. It's different than anything, man. And it's why you do what we do. It's not the money. It's about the competition. It's about the camaraderie and to be the best of the best collectively. So I know this. We were fighting for the 2 seed and to get another home game, and we got another home game. So it's awesome, and we had to earn that, and we earned that with a win today.
What about your defense? 3 stops in the red zone.
Yeah.
9 and 6-yard line. In a 1-point game, you guys were 3 the red zone. They were 0 for 3.
That was the difference. That was the difference. And we wanted to be disruptive today. We were going to be aggressive. It wasn't perfect, but at the end of the day, we knew we had to limit points, keep them out of the end zone. We did that. We talked about it at halftime. We needed to stop. We needed to get our special teams involved. I mean, we really weren't even involved. They hadn't punted yet. And sure enough, our defense comes out. We get the stop. First possession out of halftime. And now, our special teams helps us out. There again, Jack Fox was big on the offensive side when we had to punt. But and then those guys kept them out. They kept them out. And limited them to 3 points. And there again, it wasn't perfect, but we did what we had to do against that opponent, And it was another example of, man, we came out hot on offense. And then, second half, we were kind of back and forth with the defense, man. They pulled their weight. And so we played complementary football. We needed all 3 phases to win this game, and that's what the playoffs are about. You do whatever you have to do to beat the opponent that you're up against. Certainly got a lot of respect for Coach McVay and what they've done over there. It's a heck of a season they've had, and that's a tough team, man. We knew it was going to come down to the wire, but we did enough to win that game.
Tim's question, just a little bit there, specifically the defense, the breakup followed by Cam on that third down.
Yeah, those are
penalty.
big.
I mean, the secondary was struggling much today to come up with those big one-on-one plays. How big was that for you?
It was huge, and it goes back to, look, no, as long as we're back there fighting and scratching and clawing and competing, that's all that matters. That really is. And yeah, we got hit on a couple of things, but I think that's what you get encouraged with. That, man, they don't go in the tank, they don't crawl in a shell, they go back and just keep fighting. And Cam came up with a big play for us. That was huge. Got him back out of field goal range, forced the punt. And Ducey, you don't have to worry about his confidence. He's always going to come back and fight. So there again, ultimately, we did what we needed to do. And I was proud of AG for not. We made a couple of adjustments that I thought were crucial. We ran a little more match coverage, but we kept dialing up pressure too. And we're not going to be something that we're not. We're going to do what we feel like's best to let our guys cut it loose and go make plays.
You said,
Two more questions, Nikki, then Dave.
you said Goff has really been locked in within the last 6 weeks.
Look, he's been locked in all year. The only reason I bring that up is just, I just feel like it's been at another level over the last probably 6 weeks. And believe me, we won a lot of games before that 6 weeks. I mean, it was why we're where we're at. We banked a lot of wins. But anyway, keep going.
Just what did you see in him to notice that he took that to another level?
No, I think it's just the way he goes about his business, and you feel like when you see him in walkthroughs and he's in the huddle and his command of the plays that we're getting ready to run and his detail to what he wants the receivers, the O-line, or where the protection's going or what he's going to do with it, interaction with Ben Johnson. It's just these little things that I feel like are big, and it's kind of an indicator of where he's at. And I really feel like he's just getting better and better and better, honestly. I mean, I think he's playing his best football at the right time this year. And he's taken great care of it. I thought he played fast and efficient today, got rid of it early with critical throws down the field or back to the backs in a check down or, check down out into the flat and let those guys make plays. And, man, that's – you do that, you're seeing the field and you're seeing it fast. He's really been that way for a while now.
Last one, Dave. What did Sam go through to get on the field this week? I think the first play behind him, or he was one of the blockers out there. So just his effort and whatever he had to battle.
He did a ton. And it's a credit to Fish and those guys, Sundin, or trainers and all those guys in the to get him back. And it was honestly, it was kind of 24-hour care there. And I don't know all the voodoo magic they did to him. I can't explain all of it, but it was critical in just getting the swelling out and getting it to where it felt better and to where he trusted it, and really I felt like Wednesday, you just want to make sure that he feels comfortable. And you could tell by Wednesday he was, all right, I can do this. And it just got better and better every day. So credit to all those guys, and certainly Sam. I mean, he's tough. He's tough, and he wasn't going to let it hold him down. And, we put in some things to really spread the ball around, to our other guys because we didn't know if we would have him entirely. But we knew we needed him in the run game, and he showed up and helped us today.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll have Aiden and
All right.
here. Locker room's open.
Saint, great game. Is that the best catch you've ever made?
Actually, there was one better.
When? The Chicago game?
Minnesota?
No, getting Cure Auto Insurance.
Are you for real?
Seriously, when I got here in Michigan, car insurance was the worst. But saving up to 40% by switching to Cure was my best catch.
Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well.
Detroit Lions Live is brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Log on to cure.com to see how you can save. Welcome back to Ford Field, home of a playoff win for the Detroit Lions. That's Lomas Brown. I'm Dannie Rogers. You just heard head coach Dan Campbell mention Sam Laporta, who had been rehabbing a knee injury he suffered in Week 18 against the Minnesota Vikings. He was questionable to play in this game, Well, he looked pretty good out there today, Lomas. What kind of threat does he provide just being out there on the field?
Hey, you're right, Danny. He was a threat just being out there on the field. I was so shocked he was able to move and do some of the things he was able to do out there on the field. I thought he might have been limited with that knee injury he had, but Sam looked good out there. He looked good going in motion. He looked good blocking when he had to. He looked good catching the ball when he had to. This young man right here, he is something special, and I'm glad he was out there because I think he went a long ways in helping this team win this game today.
He certainly did, especially when he found himself in the end zone. Yes. Sam Laporta is responsible for our play of the game. We're going back to the second quarter for this. We've got to go back to 4th and 1 on this. Did you think they were, I mean, of course they were going to go for it, Lomas. Yeah. That is Dan Campbell's squad.
Yes.
But here we go on 4th and 1. Jared Goff finds Sam Laporta. What a dart in the end zone. Laporta knew that was coming to him that entire time. What did you see on this play, Lomas?
I started off with those big guys up front, Danny, because it took Sam a while to get over there. Look at that protection. Look how clean Jared is. He was so clean, he was able to pump the ball first before he threw it. That was just a nice job, nice route by Sam Laporta, and the laser from Jared Goff. Man, I thought our offense played very well today, especially those guys up front, because they had a challenge with Aaron Donald, Kobe Turner, all those young guys that they had in the interior of their defense. But I thought we did an excellent job in pass and run today.
And that score by Sam Laporta put these Detroit Lions up 21-10. They would only go on to score a field goal after that, and that's all they would need to do to take care of business here. All right, let's look at QB1 stats. Jared Goff. Dan Campbell could not say more great things about his quarterback than he did here tonight, giving all of his flowers to Jared Goff, who played so consistent, like Coach mentioned, was very efficient, and you could tell just by the look at him in warm-ups that he was going to have a great day. 82% completion on the. Who does that? Jared Goff does, for 277 yards, average of 10 yards a play for Jared Goff, and that throwing touchdown to Sam Laporta that we just saw. 121.8 is the passer rating. Matthew Stafford will not be overshadowing Jared Goff here tonight.
Oh, my God.
Come on, can we?
There he is, the voice.
The voice of the
voice.
Did you just call your first playoff game?
I called my first playoff win. I'd had a couple playoff games before that. They weren't as fun. This was fun.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh, my God.
Unbelievable. Is this not this atmosphere, these fans tonight? Oh, my goodness. Just everything for them. They made this happen. These players, these coaches, Sheila, man, run it down.
Yeah.
Rod Wood, Mike Disner, Chris Spielman. Everybody. It's
Can you get that monkey off my back?
Oh, it's gone, buddy. It's gone. It's gone. You know what?
Yes, sir.
It's gone.
Yes,
and
sir.
like I said, this team had every chance to do what we've seen other Lions teams do.
Yep.
So what I said over there, and I'll say it here, you take those 3 letters and you retire them. If you still utter those 3 letters, you're living in a different time.
Absolutely.
Because this team tonight delivered when they had to deliver, and we haven't seen that from these Lions before. So you guys do what you got to do. I'm going to go finish working tonight, but this is fun.
Guy.
This is good. I'll see you next week.
That's my guy right there. That is my guy.
There's only 2 people who have crashed this post-game show. It's Barry Sanders and Dan Miller, and I'd like to keep it at those 2 because those are a couple of goats. I think he was spot on. How deafening was the crowd here in Ford Field?
Danny, I'm comparing it back with the 91 crowd. It was unbelievable in here. And it was unbelievable from the start, too. I mean, these fans were into this game before it started. They were into this game the whole time, and they continued. And I'm telling you, when you get the fans behind you like that as a player, oh my goodness, that just helps you. It gives you that little extra motivation, and that's what these 60-some-odd thousand, might have been more than that. That's what they did for this team tonight.
And the Jared Goff chants. They rang out from start to finish, and that was awesome to hear for him.
And wasn't it awesome how they introduced him and how he ran out and everybody, it seemed like everybody in here stood up. And he deserved that, Danny. Everything that Jared has done this year to even put us in the position to where we are. And then not only put us in the position, but get us our first playoff win in 30-some-odd years. It's just unbelievable, unbelievable.
And Jared Goff leading the way. That is why he is our player of the game. We already talked about it. 82% completion on the night. That could be his season record. We'll check we'll check on that for you. But just taking a look at some of the throws he was able to make, that was a great floater on the perimeter to Amon-Ra St. Brown, who we will of course talk to down the road. But Coach Campbell says Goff is so resilient to his core. How important is that for any quarterback you've ever blocked for,
Danny,
Lomas?
that's what I want. I want my quarterback to be resilient. I want when things not going right, I don't want to see my quarterback drop his head or say, oh me, oh my. I want him to stay in there. I want him to continue to fight. And that's what you're going to get out of Jared Goff. You'll never get that I quit or that attitude from Jared. He's always going to be in the fight. And Danny, the other thing, his throws, like you talked about, they were so on point. The guys, they caught it and they can run after the catch. And that's so important, man. Jared, that's my guy. I might have to get me a 16 jersey.
I think you
I'm
should.
telling you, I might need to get me one. They got them big fella size. I'll take it.
A moment when Jared Goff walked off into the tunnel and he just raised his hands up in the air like a big, big weight has been lifted off his shoulders, and he knew it's for the city of Detroit. Just phenomenal QB1. He is at the podium now. Let's hear from Jared Goff.
Came out of that tunnel today. The crowd was chanting your name. We haven't heard that in this building before. Can you explain, I guess, what it meant to have that kind of support from the jump today?
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. The people here are special, man. And, I'm grateful, and I'm grateful for their support. And today, with the circumstances that were there, it meant a lot, and it was special.
Did you feel they were going to calm you down at all?
No, it made me feel pretty good. It was exciting. I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that. But, yeah, man, I love these guys.
Jared, it took a while for you to feel like this was your home. I don't know if there's any doubt in the last 2 years now, but did this almost cement that this is going to be a part of your life forever, this place?
Yeah, I hope so. This place is special to me, and like I just said, these people are special. That's the best home atmosphere I've ever played in front of, and I expect next week to be, on top of that or second, and it's a special place to play, and I've only been here for 3 years, but to see us come from where we were to where we are now, and the fans endure some of that, it's special to be able to get this W for them and for this group in our locker room.
Now that it's over, can you talk about what this week was like for you?
What? I'm sorry?
What this past week was like?
Yeah, yeah, it was fine. Like I said earlier in the week, it was kind of tracking for this matchup for a while, so I kind of had some time to, get ready for, the fanfare that would be, and I just kept going back to what this game was about, and it was about us. It was not about them. It was not about me. It was not about my history there. It wasn't about anyone on their team or any coaches. It was about us. It was about the 53 in this locker room, our coaches, and this organization getting a playoff win in front of our home crowd.
Your offensive line, you give credit constantly, but it felt like you were at a different level of pocket today in terms of width and time to really see the field.
Yeah.
How critical was the blocking to your day and the offense's day?
Yeah, they were on their game today, and that's not a no slouch D line over there. And anytime 99's on the other side, you got to be on your game, and they were today, man. They were great and came to play and came to win.
You took that first knee, threw your arms up. Can you just explain what you feel these years, whatever's going through the emotions that are going through?
Yeah, it was surreal. It was something that you kind of imagined for so long. From the moment I got here, you imagine getting that playoff win and having this type of atmosphere in front of our home crowd, and being able to sit on the ball like that and finish it out. And it kind of all hit me there. And to be honest with you, I didn't know it was over once we got the first down, and until they sent in the personnel, and it kind of all hit me at once. But kind of had to subdue a lot of emotions this week, and was able to kind of enjoy that moment.
Jared, you met with Tyler after Tyler Ube after
Yeah.
the game. What were those emotions? Do you still feel a connection to that team a little bit?
Of course, he's one of my best friends. And, him sustaining the injury he did is hard. It's hard for me to, sit on the sidelines and watch that. And I know he'll be just fine. I don't know what he's gonna end up doing, but he'll be just fine. And I love him.
Can you walk us through completion to St. Brown, pass you probably from many times.
Yep.
When you had the ball then and that was unfolding, did it feel differently? Did you feel the moment?
No, it was like every other rep we've had of that play. 100 million times. It was him one-on-one with the nickel and go win. And it was pitch and catch, and that dude's as good as it gets, and I was able to put it on him. And again, I wish I kind of knew that would have sealed the game, and then I would have been able to really enjoy that moment. But was excited we got the first down. Then I realized the game was over.
Did you find yourself at all rooting for Green Bay, just given the ramifications of bringing a second home game here?
Oh, sure, yeah. I wasn't really. I had no preference there. If we had to go to Dallas, great. Now we get a home game, even better. But yeah, once they got out to that early lead, you're like, all right, we win this game, we get another one at home, and yeah, we're excited.
More guys field is very
Yep.
you've been on the field, all those fans still stayed there. And that might have been the loudest ovation you got in place. It wasn't even focused.
Yeah.
Can you just talk about the fact that they were all still waiting there for you?
Yeah, they're amazing, man. They're amazing. I'm very fortunate to be playing for these people here and to be playing for this city and this organization and to be able to enjoy special moments like that. I don't take it for granted. And, you know, things happen in weird ways, and, you know, it's been a 3-year road to get to this point to enjoy that moment. And it was a sweet one. But with that being said, we've got some more games we want to win now.
You've been known for your toughness your entire career, but kind of appreciation, admiration do you have for what Sam went through this week to get out there for you guys?
Yeah, a ton. That dude's a stud. I told him that all week, and he battled. I don't know if people quite know how badly he was hurting throughout the week, and to get himself ready to go for that game takes a lot of guts, takes a lot of strength and courage, and he helped us today. He really did, and he's a hell of a player.
Did you have a chance to go over after the game to exchange any thoughts with Stafford?
Yeah, I told him after the game how much respect I got for him and how great of a player he is, and yeah, he's a hell of a player. He's, you know, one of my favorites to watch around the league, and yeah, got a hell of a lot of respect for him.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Saint, great game. Is that the best catch you've ever made?
Actually, there was one better.
When? The Chicago game?
Minnesota?
No, getting Cure Auto Insurance.
Are you for real?
Seriously, when I got here in Michigan, car insurance was the worst. But saving up to 40% by switching to Cure was my best catch.
Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well.
Detroit Lions Live is brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Log on to cure.com to see how you can save. Welcome back inside Ford Field. Join alongside Lomas Brown. I'm Dannie Rogers. Let's talk about this Detroit Lions run game led by David Montgomery, who has really jumped off the page in terms of stats for his own personal career. Another 1,000-yard season. He told me this week in the locker room, that doesn't matter anymore. This is a whole new season in the playoffs. Here tonight, though, 14 carries for 57 yards, averaged about 4 yards per carry. That touchdown, though, in the first quarter, that really got things going. That is what stands out to me. How does David Montgomery help this offense go, Lomas?
Danny, he helps it go because he is kind of like the piston in the engine. He's a guy that's going to get everything else going. And to me, again, we have to be able to run the ball. Everything is set up and predicated off the run for the Detroit Lions and our offense. We got him started early and often, and you could tell that he started wearing on the defense early in the game. They had to worry about David Montgomery. They had to worry about him breaking tackles. And again, when you have a guy like him, as explosive as he is, and then you pair him with a Jahmyr Gibbs, that duo right there, it's hard to contain. So to me, he is our piston that makes our engine go.
You talked about it, the rookie Jahmyr Gibbs, not getting a whole lot involved in the run game today, just 8 carries for 25 yards. However, his touchdown earlier in this game, you know, proved to be a difference maker. Gibbs getting a lot of action in the pass game as well. 4 receptions for 43 yards, good enough for 10 yards a catch, his longest catch of the day, coming in at 16. Here you have the rookie scoring a touchdown in a playoff game. Moments just not too big for him. How does he complement David so well?
Oh, my goodness. It's like that thunder and lightning. Like you say, you got David that can beat you up in between the tackles. And then what you do is you get Jahmyr and you get him out in space and let him do what he can do. He's an explosive guy that can make guys miss. He has a lot of wiggle in his game, and he can make guys miss if you get him out in open space. That's what Ben Johnson, you could tell that's what Ben Johnson loves to do with him, screens. pitches. They want to try to get him to the perimeter or the defense and let that young man with his speed take off.
Offensive coordinator Ben Johnson certainly likes to inject energy into this offense when he gets the ball, too.
Yes,
Who else other than wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown? He got snubbed from the Pro Bowl.
I know.
But that man is an all-pro in
That's
year
right.
3. He came up really big. 7 receptions for over 100 receiving yards here today. That first down catch in the fourth quarter, maybe the biggest catch of his entire career so far.
Sealed it, Danny. He sealed it right there with that catch. And again, when you got a blanket, because I call him the blanket, now I might have to give him a new nickname. But when you got a guy like that and Jared knows he can count on him, like Jared say, he's a beast. He knows next guy is going to be where he needs to be at. He's going to get himself open, and he's going to make the catch. So it's just awesome. And now I'm seeing he's adding that yak, those yards after the catch, because he breaks tackles now and really gets explosive plays on our offense. So, man, kudos to Amon-Ra. Should have been in the Pro Bowl. I guess he'll take All-Pro. We'll take that, too.
Why not? Defense is certainly preparing for Amon-Ra St. Brown, but he is still managing to beat them. Josh Reynolds is the serpent of death who just flies under the radar. He truly does. He's quiet. He goes at his business like no one else needs to know. But look, Josh, we could tell in the first quarter you were going to go off.
Absolutely.
First half, 80 receiving yards for 5 receptions. He set the tone that this Detroit offense, was going to be predicated off of its offense.
Yeah, you're right, Danny. And I thought we would have used him a lot more. I thought Josh, the way he started off, I thought he probably would have had 10 catches today if they would have kept utilizing him. But he's the one, I think, that got that offense going. Yeah, David was a big part of it, but when we wanted to drop back and throw the ball, it seemed like Jared was looking for Josh. They had that connection working early and often in the game. And I tell you what, I think the rest of this postseason, he's going to be big for us. Like you said, they're going to try to take Amon-Ra out the game. That's what playoffs are all about, trying to take your matchups out of there. So I think he's going to be big for us the rest of this playoff run.
He is. He certainly has a great story, just like his quarterback, Jared Goff. Reynolds starting out with the Rams, really growing in the NFL out in L.A. No one has played more with Jared Goff than Josh Reynolds has, and they both showed up big tonight. I had the chance to chat with Reynolds post-game. Here's what he had to say. Josh, earlier in this game, the tone was set that this was going to go as the offense went. How did you set that tone so early with those 80 receiving yards in the first half?
Man, it was just kind of one of them halves. One of them halves, me and JG were clicking. And Ben was calling some great plays. Offensive line was blocking. Man, they were blocking their tails off. And so we were just able to connect.
You started your career out with Jared Goff in L.A. You heard the Jared Goff chants all throughout this game. What did you feel when you heard those?
Goosebumps, That just tells you that the city of Detroit is behind them. And that's all. And that's all love. For a quarterback, feeling that the city is around him, I think it's big.
This city hasn't won a playoff game in over 30 years. What did you help accomplish here tonight?
We're just trying to keep going. This for Detroit, and we're not done.
Thanks, Josh. Congrats. Let's switch gears to the defensive side. Linebacker Alex Anzalone, we talk about it every week, is the heart and soul of that unit. He led all tacklers in tackles today for that Detroit defense, 8 in total. Was a little bumped up there towards the end of the game, but able to come back in. How did he set the tone defensively?
Oh, my goodness. He was playing downhill today. I said it early on the radio. He was playing downhill, and what I mean by that, he was attacking the A gaps, the B gaps. I seen them even out rush from the outside, but it was so fitting how he was coming down, and he's the one that kind of got the party started with those guys coming down, filling the holes, making sure tackles on those guys. Kyron Williams was a good player for the LA Rams, and we pretty much shut him down. He was a guy that was used to get extra yards after contact. He didn't get much of that today, so I thought our linebacking crew, I thought our front line, I thought they did a very good job of just kind of stopping the gap, stopping them up, and really making those guys try to bounce because there was nowhere for them to go.
Another guy who sent waves throughout this defense all night tonight was Aiden Hutchinson. Remind you, he's only in his second year. He came up with 2 big sacks on Matthew Stafford. He was all over the ball tonight. 5 quarterback hits, 2 TFLs. He's continuing on this momentum late in the season that he doesn't really have an answer for. He just says later in the season, he shows up. You take a look at his stats here from today. How did Hutch show up today?
Man, he was giving Haverstein, their right tackle, fits today. I mean, he was beating them inside. He was beating them outside, and he was beating them with his quickness, too. Man, Aiden is such an intense player, and what I love about Aiden is that his intensity, his energy, it rubs off on the other guys, and you can kind of see them kind of pick their game up a lot when they see this young man out there doing some of the things he's doing. Danny, 5 quarterback hits from one guy. I mean, that's a phenomenal game, a quiet game for him, but a phenomenal game for Aiden Hutchinson. And like you say, he's only continuing to get better and better and better.
And Hutchinson is squashing his rookie numbers in sacks, 9.5 in year 1. He's up to 13.5 here in the playoffs. All right, Hutch is standing by the podium now. Let's hear from him.
We talked earlier in the week, we talked about how quickly Matthew you found a way. You said we need to find a way regardless. 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. Do you feel like you accomplished what you were trying to do this week?
Yeah. I think we definitely left some plays out there on some, I think first, second down, we just got to convert a little faster. But for the most part, I thought we were doing a pretty good job.
When you take away Williams, he's such a big part of what they do. He still averaged a little 4 yards carry, but to take them out of that rhythm, how important was that to the game plan today?
It was huge. I don't know why they left the run a little bit. I mean, felt like they left the run a little bit in the second half. I mean, they got some big explosives in the first half, so maybe that's why. But I'm not really sure.
How are you guys so good in the red zone today? 0 for 3, they were in a 1-point game. That's essentially the difference. Just what was it about inside the 20? What were you guys doing down there around the 10 that were able to just get you off the field and save you 4 points?
We put an emphasis on our red zone and kind of in the middle of the season when we kind of maybe a little later in the season when we realized it wasn't really up to par. And it's kind of hard to describe how you change a red zone defense, but I think it was more of a mentality shift. And now we just got to stop the self-inflicted wounds. Those big explosives, they kill you in these big games.
This team's confident in Jared Goff. Earlier this week, man, you guys know he had a big opponent going in. St. Brown did say he was trying to be one of the guys to win for him, but just this team's confidence in your quarterback going to this game, how was it?
Yeah, we knew Jared had a lot on his plate this week, just with all the media and all the hype and all the this and the that, and I thought he handled it with a lot of grace, and he handled it like just a true professional, and it shows the kind of guy he is, and he played his ass off today, and I think he showed Detroit, he showed Detroit what he's made of.
What do you take from an experience like this, though? I mean, first playoff game, you're going against one of the franchise greats, Matthew Stafford. You grew up watching, man. Just what do you take from this personally in your career, this experience, and getting this playoff victory?
Yeah, it's really weird. A lot of these big moments come, and you kind of go through them, and you don't really look back right now, but this is one of these moments that I'll look back after the season. You kind of just, you let it simmer, and you let it just, you really get that true emotion. I feel like after the fact when you look back at things.
You had 5 quarterback hits, I think, a couple sacks. The penalty that you drew at the end, I think that was you on the holding call. You just described that pass rush and how important that play was, set them back.
Yeah, I was going for the strip sack, but I just missed it. I think I could have gotten it though, but that would have probably closed the game out. So I think next time I just gotta get that ball out.
But to get the penalty, back them up.
Yeah, that was big. It's big, and I'm I'm happy I got a holding call.
Now 7 sacks. I think the last 3 games for you, just you're on quite the roll. What is there? Just feeling it? Can you describe it?
I don't know. I feel like I told you guys, I heat up late in the season, and it's playoff time, and you know, I've been waiting for my opportunity in the playoffs, and just want to make the most of it every out I get.
The crowd, just the word about how electric that atmosphere was out there. I mean, I think our ears are still ringing a little bit. What was it like to play in front of that?
It was wild. It was wild. The fans came out. It's probably maybe one of the loudest stadiums I've been in, you know. And I mean, that first half and the end of the game, it was crazy, man. Detroit, that they ate all this up.
You the last guy in the defensive room to catch the cold?
Say it again.
You the last guy in the defensive line room to catch the cold?
Yeah, I woke up yesterday with a little something, and endurance was cut a little bit today. But yeah, we'll be good in a couple days.
What do you do to push through something like that, Aiden? I mean, was there any
I just told Romeo, be ready. You know, every 3 or 4 plays I might need a sub. But no, this moment is way bigger than anything. You know.
I see the message on the
Last one, Eric.
I see the message on the water bottle, man. What's that about? Anybody can
Yeah. This is my boy Connor. He's got cerebral palsy, and he's always sending me videos. I feel like he sends these videos claiming that Aiden, you're gonna get 3 sacks today, and you know I've always been getting them recently, so I feel like he's my good luck charm, and yeah, he's great.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
A hometown kid at the stadium saying this could be the loudest stadium he's ever been in. Probably, Hutch. It definitely probably is. He talked about maybe some misplays that were left out there on the field. Puka Nacua, the rookie receiver, 181 receiving yards here tonight. You always hear Dan Campbell say, the really good receivers, they are going to get the ball. You have to try to contain them. What can this defense take into the next game?
Danny, I think the thing that we're going to have to do, I think we're going to have to be a little bit more aggressive with these receivers. I think the thing that hurts us the most is that these guys get a free release off the line of scrimmage, and we don't get on these guys. And it's hard covering guys when you just give them a free release off the line of scrimmage. I think what we're probably going to have to do is tighten up a little bit, try to knock those guys off their routes, try to change up the timing a little bit, try to affect the quarterback a little bit. Look, if we keep getting that production out of Aiden Hutchinson we got today, putting pressure on quarterback, that's only going to help our secondary. But I think in the meantime, just tighten up a little bit and try to bump these receivers off their route a little bit more.
All right, for those folks keeping score at home, Week 20 is on the horizon for these Detroit Lions, the division round here in the playoffs. It is slated for 3 p.m. at Ford Field next Sunday. That is all that we know. Opponent, TBD. It'll either be the Philadelphia Eagles or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Come on, send them in.
Right. Bring them on, baby. Bring them on.
Eagles a little bit on a skid here to end the season, but they still snuck into playoffs based on what they've already done this season. Tampa Bay Bucks, Baker Mayfield, he can be dangerous sometimes. What is your first initial take? We know Lions have already faced the Bucks earlier in October. What's your first take? Who would you rather see?
You know, I probably would rather see the Bucks. I mean, I know with running quarterbacks, we have just a tad bit of problems with running quarterbacks. The Eagles team, look, this is a team that was in the Super Bowl last year, so they have so much experience, so many guys on that team. Give me the Tampa Bay Bucks. Let me get after Baker Mayfield. I'm going to see how dangerous he is, man. So, yeah, I think I'd rather have them, Danny. Plus, we already beat them once this year, too.
Okay, I like that. I like all of that. All right, what are your final thoughts from Ford Field, which caused 2 delay of games for these Rams? They had to use timeouts to make sure they didn't delay game. Your final takeaways, it was so deafening. Environment was incredible.
Danny, being a proud alumnus of the Detroit Lion, and with these 60-some thousand fans here, we've been waiting for 30-some odd years. And guess what? We don't have to wait anymore. It's here. The Lions won the division, and they won their first playoff game this year. And there's so much more ahead, so much more this team wants, and they're hungry to go get it. And guess what? I'm hungry too, so I want to go get it with them.
Get out of the big man's way. He's
that's
hungry.
Right. Get out the way.
That is amazing. All right, the final from Ford Field, 24-23, an electric atmosphere. We knew it was going to be like this because Dan Campbell told us it would be earlier this week. The head man knows. So many great plays, kept us on our toes as Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams are being sent home. Jared Goff, the Detroit Lions, they're going to keep on playing, Lomas.
Hey, he got the last laugh. I like that. QB1, as you call them, got the last laugh. Congratulations, Detroit Lions.
For Lomas Brown, I'm Dannie Rogers. We will see you right back here next week, 3 p.m. kick, opponent TBD. But we'll still be here.
That's right.
Have a great night, Detroit.